Well, let's see. I guess the first thing I wanted to be was a cowboy. I remember once, maybe second or third grade, I woke up one morning. It wasn't Halloween, but I got dressed in my cowboy outfit, complete with spurs on my boots, and walked to school that day. In those days, you walked to school a half mile. And I don't know what people must have thought seeing this little kid walking to school like a cowboy. And I walked into classroom, and my teacher took a look at me and said, "Wow, would you like to do something for us?" And so I think I stood up in front of the class and sang, "I have the spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle," or something like that. Uh, so that was my cowboy phase. That lasted for several years, and then I wanted to be a succession of other things. But before long, I decided I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. I played Little League. I was a shortstop, and I decided I wanted to be a shortstop in the major leagues. So that ambition stayed with me for, I guess, till about halfway through high school. We had some good baseball teams that I played on. We were the Pennsylvania State champions of the Connie Mack Knee-High baseball. And then in high school, I discovered I was not so good at hitting the curveball. And it began to be clear that I wasn't going to become a major leaguer after all. And at about that time, I took an interest in writing and traded in my baseball bat for a pencil and decided now that's what I wanted to do, become a writer. I've been lucky enough to have some nice things happen with my writing, and yet I think the thing I may be proudest of all is simply the fact that I'm making a living writing stories. No one had ever told me how hard that was going to be. It's one thing to write a book. It's another to get it published. It's yet another to sell enough to make enough money to pay a few bills, and then to follow that up with a second book that does the same thing, and a third and a fourth and so forth, until you reach the point where you can actually leave your day job and make a living at doing nothing but writing books. Nobody ever told me how almost impossibly hard that was going to be, and how lucky you were going to have to be able to do that. And I'm fortunate enough for that to be the case. And so simply to say that I make my living writing books is a lot bigger deal than those simple words sound like. I remember one night I was out shopping at a local supermarket, and those were the days when I was writing my books on the side in my spare time after dinner. And I recall that I had a problem because money was so tight that one of our kids needed cough syrup for a cold, and the other kids needed milk. And I did not have enough money in my pocket for both. Frankly, I forget what I bought that night. What I do remember is the painful dilemma of it all, and the wish that someday I might be in a position to write books that people might want to buy, so that I could have enough money in my pocket to buy both the milk and the cough syrup. And I'm happy to say that's happened.
Funding for adlit.org is provided by the Ann B. and Thomas L. Friedman Family Foundation. For more information on adolescent literacy, please visit us online at www.adlit.org.